All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Otorimonogatari, episode 4. Huh?
Wow, so
That episode last was amazing.
I almost feel like I almost feel bad for this episode that it has to come after that episode.
Just wait, Jacob. Wait, Jacob. This episode's going to be just as good in a completely different way. I'm sure it's going to be
absolutely fantastic, but at the same time, it feels kind of not fair to it.
Right. I want to say that this arc so far is rivaling, for me, the Hanakawa Tiger stuff. In terms of, actual, investment that I have.
It's pretty crazy.
It's really good. And it literally is not just because of the previous episode. It is because of the culmination of building up to just that episode in 3 episodes.
Yeah, I know. Like in at least like Neko Shiro, we had the whole thing of with Senjou being a badass and awesome and amazing, and these are characters that we've seen just multiply a factor, an order of magnitude more than the characters in this arc, right?
Yes,
of Suki and Sengoku.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to do this in 3 episodes is kind of ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous. Yeah. And it doesn't even have say what Kizu had of just having everything be so ridiculously gorgeously animated that our eyes are popping out, right? Mm-hmm. But in this, no, it's just that good. Mm-hmm. It's just that good.
I think that what it is partially is that the catharsis of seeing our hero or our prospective character in this part here, Sengoku, telling off everyone that she's wanted to tell off for so long, is something that I think every single person ever who's grown up has wanted to do at some point, and yet they never did it. They never did it.
Well,
not at this level.
Right.
So we all
helps.
Suddenly just became like cheerleaders of Sengoku.
Being able to just kick open, kick your
down.
classroom door off of its hinges,
yes,
and do all this stuff with your hair poofing out and stuff, and being able to sound as awesome as Sengoku did in the previous episode. I feel like that's it's something that we would all love to have. This
now we had a love confession that was accidental, and Araragi was like, no, that's not gonna happen, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thing you were talking about before this episode?
Oh,
you were like, this is the part where the snake goes...
snake just slithers up and whispers in Sengoku's ear. This is the part.
No, to Araragi. You saying it wrong. You meant that...
No, I meant Sengoku.
You meant Sengoku.
Right,
gotcha.
because I feel like that's the perfect cap on the previous episode where she had all this stuff where she came into her own and everything, right? Mm-hmm. And this is going to be the part where she regresses, where she shies away because this hurt. This hurt bad.
Or maybe not.
Well, right. Or maybe not. Or the way that she does it is going to be in her own fashion with Medusa powers.
I'm very hyped. For what's coming next.
Me too.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yeah. What an unreasonable... Whoa. Sweet. Okay. Cool. Cool. Uh-huh. Yep. Good. Communication has been established.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, okay. She still hasn't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Uh.
Very cold words, yeah. Wow. Dang. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh. Bringing up Gain, okay.
Okay.
Dang. This is intense, though. Shinobu just
Yeah.
spitting cold words like venom.
And there's a part of me that wonders if that is actually something that in some ways Sengoku wants, because when Araragi basically shows too much concern for her, that bothers her, right?
Right.
So gotta say, even though this look like of these clothing sets and stuff that Sengoku put on was specifically to not stand out,
yeah,
it's a cool look.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's the shaft effect of just making
yes, that's true. That's true.
Incredibly well animated little
that's very true.
cute girls doing effectively cute things.
Sure. But it makes me think of like some artistic type person that's just sort of
10-10.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa. Holy crap. Okay. Wow. 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 Jeez. and the words she's saying are piercing him over and over again. Oh my god.
Whale.
Connecting back to the beginning now? No? Yep, okay. Wow. Ah! Jeez. Holy crap. Oh. Wow. Okay. Well, something we've learned over the course of all this time, yeah. Yep. Wow. Whoa. Wow. Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Time to go back. Well, that's why he's also you. Yep. Exactly. Hence a stupid conversation.
As usual.
Dang. Whoa. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh. purity and spirit.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Gotcha.
Dang.
Gotcha.
Oh. Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Wait. What is going on?
Wow.
Jeez. Oshinogi is very like oh my god. Whoa. Wow. Oh my god. Jeez. So much to take in. Wow. Yeah.
Shinobu has to get the last laugh.
Yeah. You could say it's all about the perspective. Oh. Yeah, a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Jeez. Wait. Wait, what? Oh my god. Oh. Wow. What's going on? Wait.
I don't know. Of course it is.
Oh my god! Sengoku! Oh!
Um...
Yes, the order.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for the advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Senjou Gahara! Wow.
Ah.
Wow. I'm praying to you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Huh.
Dang. Whoa. 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 And such. No, that would never happen. More than my former self.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow, Senjou.
Gahara is amazing. She's not even shown. And she steals the spotlight.
Wow!
That's not how I expected it would go. Because in some ways, I kind of wasn't taking the first episode and them getting totally destroyed by Sengoku as seriously, because I'm like, okay, they're gonna need to come up with a way to explain this or whatever, but it's still all gonna get resolved just fine. But no, it's like, no, this is actually... Yeah, okay.
I have so many questions. But the main one that they brought up here, Sengoku's transformation of such being that she now dictates reality, which is the truest form of delusion. Like,
right.
Like there was a very clear, like, explanation of sorts as to why she has this, you know, godlike power being in her, you know, being able to dictate reality, not just for herself, but for others. It's the height of delusion in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So I want to figure out more so how this directly affects our characters rather than how much of this is real or not, because in a lot of ways it's shown. So, you know, therefore it's very important. And this is from her perspective. So there's that. But there were some huge things brought up question-wise with regards to what?
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
And it's all repaired. You see the shrine is being so...
Yeah. Nice.
Wow. Holy crap. Whoa. Wow. Not the entire cast, but...
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Coming soon. What the awful, like...
All right.
But we still got the fire sisters here. Please show at least a little concern. Behold my unwavering detachment.
Toothbrushes. Wait, what?
What? Oh my. It can be quite the ordeal indeed. Tooth wiping! Shinobi time! Oh. Oh my god. That was...
All right.
That was intense.
That certainly was.
We've come back to the beginning.
I did not... I mean, in classic Monogatari fashion, I did not expect it to go this way.
And oh my god, like Senjou Gahara saved everyone's life.
Like, okay.
Here.
I love how this is very much Sengoku's time in the spotlight, right?
Yeah.
This is her arc. This is her episode. She just had the previous episode, and she goes. She does the thing,
but freaking Hitagi crap.
Yeah.
Senjou, but Hitagi coming in.
But the thing is, the mantle of best girl in Monogatari is not one that is permanent, and it is one that is hotly contested within the show, even.
Oh yeah.
And from Shinobu lying there dead and being like, so, you know, like still throwing jabs at her like multiple times, then she just keeps stabbing her. And she's like, but, you know, okay. And then she gets a call from Senjou, and Senjou just steals the spotlight, not even being there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So let's TLDR this and then go and break it down a little bit.
Because there's a lot we still don't fully get.
There's a lot I still don't fully get. The main thing is that we have the connecting back to the present with this being the point where she consumes the talisman.
Yep.
She basically merges with this god that she created in her own mind.
That is now revived.
But it is something that is more her being true to herself in another way. It feels very much like the Hanakawa situation, but it's the Sengoku version of this. Then she herself, you know, who's now transformed here, just releases all of her emotion and her frustration with Araragi, killing essentially both of them. But you know, they're immortal vampires, so it's more punishing them than anything. Then we go back to the beginning. We now realize that all these things that she had, you know, experienced were based around the delusion that she was a victim.
Right.
That was part of her own delusion, where she was actually the culprit in a lot of ways with this. But she was also both. Something that she acknowledged even before she consumed the talisman. So then, you know, she continues to punish them and then realizes, all right, now it's time for them to die. But she also realized that there was this catalyst, this impetus that was kind of given to her a bit by Oshino Ogi.
Right.
Which now my brain is now like freaking out in terms of theory, speculation territory of like, wait, what the hell is Oshino Ogi?
Yeah.
And I'm not so certain I have, I'm not so certain I have even grounds to call Oshino Ogi a character even. She's
a presence.
She's a, or they even are something.
Well, they at least
more.
call her Oshino's niece. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Is it Oshino's niece?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then we have
the way
kind
that
of the reveal of kind of how the previous events happened.
Right.
More from reality here.
Which is interesting because, like, I mean, at the beginning I thought it seemed like something was off about Sengoku, and maybe it was just that I didn't like her as a character, you know, earlier on.
Are you talking about Bake?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
the idea that there was a part of her that she was very much up to something, and she was deluding herself into thinking that there was all these things that were happening, you know, with the aberrations and things like that. But then the aberrations were kind of there, but then they also weren't. It was complicated because of all the stuff that was going on.
Right.
But then she's trying to basically her unrequited love for Araragi has become obsessive.
Yep.
Right. And she's acting on it, but she doesn't want to acknowledge to herself that it has become obsessive, because then it's maybe a problem, right?
Sure.
As opposed to just, this sucks and oh well, I'll just keep going with it.
Yeah. Shinobu was trading in jabs in between getting harpooned.
Yeah.
And then she decides, okay, it's time to kill it's time to kill Koyomi Oni-chan.
Yep.
And then, I mean, if he stays alive, he's going to keep making girlfriends and lovers. But then, it'd be more romantic if he were dead, because then he wouldn't be able to reject me,
Oh, wait, whoa, go back. Likewise, I didn't want to make more trouble for him than I already had.
Oh.
Wow.
That was,
Yeah.
Yeah, right after that line. And then even that other side of herself, Kuchinawa-san, which is,
like,
more
you're already
that's just
that
Nadeko.
level of crazy.
Yeah, but that's just her.
Right.
Just realizing, that's how bad it is. And she's like, oh, it can't be helped. And since Nadeko is an aberration, but that's Nadeko, not me. Wow.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we get a phone call from the hero to save our damsel in distress.
That's right.
And, oh my god.
She always has his ass covered.
Yeah, it's amazing how much she cares about him. But then she's like, don't make me go box cutter on everyone else in this world. Like,
right.
I will take a lot of people out before it comes to that. People that you might actually care about.
Right. Like, I love how she goes through this of like, hey, may I make a request?
May I pray to you, my kami-sama.
Right. Will you kill me and let them live? Which in and of itself is like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And then she's like, nah, because I'm gonna kill you anyway. And she's like, all right, then just let
me give you some advice.
Let me give you some advice as someone with more life experience.
I've been around longer than you.
Right. Like, I love that. Like the idea that she's dealing with basically, a god, right? Just straight up at this point. And she's like, okay, but you want to do this the smart way. So don't kill Shinobu first, because then, or don't kill Araragi first, because then Shinobu will become a super vampire and and kill you and stuff. But then at the same time, if you kill them first, then I'm gonna be an issue. So
you should probably kill me first.
And then go from there.
Right, but since your feelings are resolved in this, and they're not going to change so lightly,
and your power is absolute, you shouldn't be in any rush, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so now this whole story is about her.
Right.
She has grabbed the spotlight in a very meta way, but we're delaying things specifically until graduation.
Because life doesn't exist after graduation.
Well, I mean that, but also how much this is about Araragi, finally being able to grow up, finally being able to move on in a lot of ways. Like, there's this aspect of, how much of this has been pushing towards him just surviving through high school, basically. Just getting through this. And graduation maybe having some, greater ramification and symbolism than just, graduation. And in a lot of ways it is interesting because there have been more recent arcs where things have shifted away from the focus of Araragi. And that's really cool. But that also means we don't know fully where his headspace is at. We don't know exactly what's going on internally with him.
Although I feel like since we haven't been giving him as much focus, that means he's probably doing pretty well,
I would say for the most part, sure. You should refrain from holding hands and such with Koime Nishan until then. And she's just like, oh, if that isn't half killing a snake.
Yeah. If we hadn't met under different circumstances, maybe we would have been able to have been friends. No, that would never happen.
Sorry, but I hate cute brats like you more than my former self, Sengoku Naruto-san.
Wow.
She's being respectful to her, but also just being completely blunt and honest, as Senju Gahara would, but being like, no, there's no way. I absolutely hate people like you.
Yeah.
Like, more than my former self. And then hangs up.
Yeah.
And there's this look right at the last second where she has this elation of like, I won. Like, there it is. I'm going to get everything all in one day.
Oh, man.
And that's a day I can look forward to. And then they did the freakiest thing ever by having her break the fourth wall and be like, okay, yeah, you know what?
Because I'm a god after all.
No time skip, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's,
yeah.
It was actually kind of freaky the way she was like, wait, no time skip, sorry, isn't the story over anyway? And yet it still seemed to be like they were having her imagine what the future would be like, almost as if there was a time skip.
Right. Oh, boy.
It wouldn't be the light to end job, so instead of an epilogue, I'll give an episode preview to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And then someday in March, 6 months later, graduation day, I was on the grounds of the shrine. You can see my face clearly from the front.
Yeah, and tying her hair up in the ponytail and everything.
And we're seeing like the shoes with the blood and basically the
her
dead...
anticipating killing them.
Yes, exactly. And then we even see here
Senjou
hanging from the shrine, covered in snakes, either dead or...
Pretty sure. But,
yeah.
This could be her imagination, and doesn't necessarily need to be what ends up happening.
I love how we knew exactly who it was by just the legs of the characters showing up.
Yep.
And, we obviously have a Shinobu that's a little bit juiced up because
the
she's
junior
teen.
the teen Shinobu.
Shinobu, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm ready to throw down.
Yep.
And just the three of them together, and then also where Senjou is specifically spiting her by being like, "Oh, you think you can keep? No.
Yeah.
We're holding hands. We're doing the lewd stuff right in front of you.
We walked home every night, together."
But then even if Kambaro or Hanakawa were there, that'd be perfect. It'd be the entire cast. It's like, what even is this show?
Wow. And I beg to differ because Hachikuji exists, so among others.
Yeah. There are other members of the cast that are not present currently. And if the final battle could begin with his signature phrase from me, I couldn't wish for anything more. Welcome, Konomi Oni-chan. I'll show you some love.
Yeah.
Then,
oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We are. That's the crazy bit. And the romantic comedy will start. The final showdown in all sorts of ways.
Yep.
And then she puts Araragi in basically like a coffin shrine cage thing. But this episode absolutely blew my mind that they were willing to basically have the confrontation go into bringing up what aberrations are and almost kind of defining it from a world perspective, I would say.
Right.
Can I just end this really quick? Just that aberrations have been, for the most part, I would say almost entirely, symbolic representations of the struggles that the characters themselves are going through.
Right.
Hence why them dealing with their own trauma, their own mental instabilities, their issues, emotional, what have you, they need to be the ones to solve them. Other characters can be there and help them deal with this situation. But given that hers is one that is so defining of her perspective on reality, she is literally a god. Therefore, there is no one that can help her. Because her power is absolute over her own situation. She is in full denial of reality to the point where it shows her in perfect control of reality. Her power is such. So it's going to take everyone in order to wake her up in some ways. Or it's going to take her to be fully disconnected from reality, obliterate everything, and then realize how alone she is, wake up and come to grips with what's actually going on. Now, I love that that's something that we're bringing up in I would say a more literal way, because it's felt like that since a long time ago in the show, that, things are more based around a perspective rather than an objective, reality on things.
Well, yeah, and the whole idea of people causing the aberrations to exist is something that they've explored before and everything. I was a little bit confused at some points of like the and I feel like they took a long time of going through the monologuing in order to properly showcase how it all worked, because the sort of order of operations, like on the surface level felt
wobbly,
well no, it just was pretty wonky, and they had to go through all the details of no, it actually works.
There was a causal link of events that led to this conclusion.
It's interesting because I wouldn't have assumed Sengoku to be so unstable like before, it's and I guess maybe they did kind of say that it started with her seeing Senjou and Araragi together, and the whole idea of that instability is her jealousy taken to an extreme. Totally makes sense.
But why wouldn't you have seen her as unstable when she was obsessing over Araragi?
Once we got to this arc, definitely. Before that,
no. You didn't. Okay.
Not before this arc.
Okay, because what I saw, and I think this was part of the part of the act that she was putting on specifically was that she was trying to accentuate her cuteness to attract Araragi.
Yeah, totally makes sense, right?
And that's a bit obsessive in a lot of ways because he's completely ignoring her.
Yeah, but it's not the idea that there would be parts of it that would be a little bit obsessive or whatever because especially when you're young and you don't really know what's going on and stuff, then it can get to that place very easily because you're not familiar with this situation that you're in, right?
Sure.
But I wouldn't have expected her to have been at this level of insanity, so to speak, where she's coming up with these fabrications for herself so that she doesn't even have to acknowledge where she's at really, while at the same time trying to do all of these things. And it was definitely seeded as far as like hinting that it was there. It just came as a surprise to me when they came out and said it, that she has actually been like telling herself mentally different things than reality.
Yeah. I would say that it's something that is something that was exacerbated by the actions and the events taken in this arc, but it was more so that she finally started acting on her obsession in a way that was more direct.
Sure.
And she did little things like planting herself in specific areas there, which is why, in a lot of ways, I think Shinobu, who's the ancient one that has this hey, I've got a lot of life experiences. I can smell the bullshit. Oh. Like that's why she's, acting so protective of Araragi.
Sure.
It's something where she's literally watching a threat enter the house and kind of being like, no, I need to take care of you.
Right.
And she's acting so cold.
And she uses the excuse of, no, honey, I'm protecting you because he's a horny teenager. You could have ended up with a teen pregnancy and all that stuff. You never know, right?
Yeah. Now, Shinobu definitely could have had a little bit better reading the situation to see how unstable she was, and that she could have maybe brought Araragi into this.
Right.
But
she wasn't very understanding.
Right.
Because
because she doesn't have that much empathy for
or patience, really.
Or patience. Yeah, that's a more accurate way of saying it. She definitely has empathy, but it's not as much patience, I would say. Araragi, though, having this kind of constant need to be there for people and save them and stuff like that, that definitely put him into a situation where it exacerbated even more her delusion or problems there. But
because she wanted him to be able to see her as basically as like a peer, I feel like, right? As a normal girl, not just the friend of his little sister. Right. And he wasn't able to do that. And he's being very nice about it. He's constantly trying to, make sure that she's doing okay. Hey, I'm sorry I didn't realize what was going on. I'll make it up to you, blah, 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 all that stuff. And that's actually just, the worst thing from Sengoku's perspective that he could ever say to her, right?
Because he's coddling her. He's not treating her like an equal.
Yep.
But it is also a thing of where his desire to help someone is one where he's also not able to look at things from a different perspective, like Shinobu's, for instance, even though she was being cold, and see what was really going on inside of Sengoku. So,
and I mean, how can you see me when I don't even know where I am? Like, Sengoku didn't even want to see where Sengoku was at. So
yeah, but she does in the very beginning of this episode have a bit of I would say, a self-acceptance of, I'm also the victim, but I am the culprit too. And he's looking at this as a burden, whereas she is actually unburdening herself by being honest in this instance. I mean, this whole setup thing was probably a cue, maybe in some ways via her scheme, that she would end up accidentally being honest with him and having him show up there at this time.
Which apparently was sort of orchestrated by Ogi, which feels like set up for okay, we're going to go into the details of that later. That's going to be a part that will, it's the whole thing of Araragi showing up at the end of Shiro, but late, right? Because he's been somewhere. He's been he's been busy, and I feel like that's kind of the same sort of setup here.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the symbolism is necessarily for Sengoku swallowing the talisman. Now, there was a tie-in to Gain here about how Gain was the one that basically brought this here.
Yeah.
So it feels like there's another plot line going around in the background where Gain's whole presence here to meet up with who was it?
Episode?
Yeah. Who was the other tired one?
Friggin' best girl. Yeah.
What's his name?
Crap, how am I forgetting? Why am I forgetting?
Kaiki!
Yes! Thank you!
Yeah. Kaiki, basically just all the adults, basically, all gathering together. Now, they had their own mission for coming here, and, at least Gain did, with bringing, everyone here and stuff, but it feels like they were more in the know on certain things with regards to that, and now we're potentially getting a little bit of a building up towards that with having there be some time in between graduation and now 6 months. So I feel like Oshino Ogi is the key to a lot of that.
Got it good. Yeah.
And maybe there's some clues as to...
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, from a story perspective, it kind of makes sense that given that this is the second act, basically, right?
Yes.
That since
where everything goes wrong. Yeah.
Well, right, but also from the standpoint that in the first act there were all these things that were mysteries, right? That were basically blank spaces that were going to get filled in later with other parts of the story, and they were set up very clearly in like Bake and things like that. But then they weren't going to be explored just then, right? So now that we're in the second act and we have different stories that we're going to be going into, it makes sense that you would want to set up different blank spaces for the different stories for the different characters and things like that, since the second act is going to take a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so she ends up kind of having her own monologue, stupid conversation about the delusion that led to her basically choosing a snake to be her god in this way. Her truest self, her coming into a position of power to where she can affect reality in a strong way. Also, I wanted to tie in a little visual connection here. This totally reminds you of Kizu, right?
Oh, with the branches and everything?
Branches in the tree and everything?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Now, when you're saying this, is Nadeko, to summarize for that purpose, you fabricated the story. Now, the show is called Monogatari.
Right. And this one is Otorimonogatari, which is like decoy, right?
Yeah. Apparently that's what that means. But, the false story, if you will, like the trap or the...
Actually, I just want to listen to this part again real quick.
Sure.
Just to see if like, because maybe Otori has like a bunch of different like word meanings, and that's actually that, like, I just... Okay, yeah, so there was no Otorimonogatari part said, but okay.
Well, let me see this, actually, the part after that. No, okay, nothing there. Yeah, real Nadeko-chan had living a life that had no prospect of becoming an actual story. This is very fourth wall breaking there.
Yeah.
As one adept at escaping reality, this was your biggest escape.
And the question marks from the snakes.
Exactly. You say that Kuchinawa-san up to now was just my delusion, but you knew things I didn't, Kuchinawa-san. Well, because Kuchinawa is you. It's all...
But then talking about the whole things of like, the fact that she was researching snake gods and things like that way back in Bake, right?
Yeah.
Like, good point. And I feel like this conversation, because in some ways it feels like it could just end up being let's make sure that everything makes sense and explain it to the audience. But that almost would feel like that isn't enough as far as like, because this is Monogatari, right? To spend this much time on something. And maybe it's that it's also Sengoku kind of coming to realize and be honest with herself about kind of how nasty of a person she is. About all her issues and things like that she has shoved away and not looked at, right?
Right. So in some ways, this is actually, like we guessed, something that's really helpful for her because she's actually willing to face reality.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is that she is also still holding tightly onto her absolute will control power over reality.
But it's still
that
progress.
Is not necessarily reality.
It's still progress.
But it is progress in that she is actually, having these conversations.
Right.
Which is, ultimately just her bridging the gap between Kuchinawa and herself and becoming more of a whole person. It's just an unhealthy whole person.
And that could be like one of the reasons why Senjugahara basically saying give us 6 months is such a big deal, because it's not just for Araragi and whatnot.
It is for
it's
her
also
sake
for
as
her
well.
to basically say, okay, yeah, this is where you're at. Let's let you sit with this for a while to actually see if that is true resolve to do this thing.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Now, did we see in the show when in September she sees Araragi and Senjugahara together?
Yes, I can't remember when exactly it was. There's a part of me that wants to say it was in Nisei, but I get the feeling that's not right. Maybe it was something different, like it was in Shiro or something like that.
Okay.
No, because Araragi wasn't around in Shiro for a long time. Yeah, I feel like it would have been Nisei.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so this is what's interesting here. So what did I do when I got jealous? You had the same idea as that friend of yours. You know what that is, huh? In other words, you prayed to a god. Now, here's what's weird here. That friend of yours? Mm-hmm. Who's that referring to?
It's the person that cursed her in Bake.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when that happened, she came over here and broke it.
Right.
You came here to the shrine and broke the charm. Now,
right.
Is that actually the beginning of where things started with regards to the delusion rather than the jealousy?
Potentially, given the fact that the charm was placed by Kaiki, and there's the whole it's fake, but if people believe it, then it can become real kind of a thing. And she definitely believed it. And the person who put it on her definitely believed it. And she responded in a way from believing it, right? And then that reinforced the belief further. And then she researched things and all that stuff. And then there actually was a god that had been sealed away and stuff. And then she believes in something that actually is real, just not there currently.
And now she kind of had this moment of like, well, whether or not I actually believed any of that. Or why she would do the things specifically here. But then he says, right, that morning this fact was pointed out to you by that girl, Oshino Ogi. Which is like, oh wait, how convenient that this mystery character who kind of just randomly showed up in a very Senjugahara kind of way, which by the way, I just want to say, every time we see Oshino Ogi from the back, I'm like, oh, there's this aspect where I'm like, yeah, it does look like Senjugahara. Just a little bit. But I wanted to, so she basically says, like, I don't know what you're praying for. I've seen you frequent that shrine, but it's useless. Then when they show the profile here, look, of Ogi, there's actually a part where I go, wait, actually, it looks like if you fused Senjugahara and Araragi actually together. Okay. Now, this is my weird reaching kind of theory here, is that the people that have actually seen Oshino Ogi is a very small number of people.
And Sengoku, and I think that's it.
So I almost want to draw some kind of connection there. If we're dealing in delusions and all kinds of things of not real stuff, and Araragi is also one that I would say that has dealt with this kind of problem a little bit in the past with not really the same kind of scale.
Yeah, not delusion, but I mean, he's definitely had his issues.
Right, definitely had his issues, but with seeing things from a perspective that isn't necessarily true.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if the association with Senjugahara is mainly because she was in the same place as Senjugahara was, and I don't think we've seen anyone other than Senjugahara at that specific spot.
Okay.
But yeah, she goes into all the details about, the god and the vessel and all that.
And
and that Araragi has it.
How does she know all this?
And that's
like, this is the kind of stuff where I'm like, they are setting up something, and it's obvious that they're setting up something. But like there's gotta be an explanation that is like staring at us right in the face right here.
I think that's just Act 2 ammo. But
the thing is, this is not the first time we've seen Oshino Ogi.
Right.
There were multiple times before this where,
but only in the second act, because the other time that we saw her was for Hachikuji's been, right?
Right. Yeah.
So there's a possibility that that's what it is.
Okay. And she brought up Gain Izuko, which means she might be tied to them and their whole group.
Which makes sense if she's the niece of Oshino.
Right. Yeah. But that's potentially the tie-in of where the connection between those people going on in the background doing their thing that hasn't fully been resolved yet, and in addition, this this main thing going on with Sengoku and Araragi. If I got revived, the seal broken, I'm sure it could easily grant your wish. Nadako-chan.
Yeah.
No, really. And how to break the seal, I wouldn't know. Snake God, grab some snake leather and get it to swallow it whole. That tasteless scrunchie was also something you got from that high school girl.
Yeah. Like, the idea that also her by... the fact that Ogi said it that way, that you should grab some snake slithering around and get it to eat it, that basically is her acknowledging then, when she eats the talisman, that I'm a slithering snake.
Sure. Yeah.
Which then makes it make a lot of sense, given the fact that she had been living in delusion up till that point, and then after that, then the snake, which is a part of her at this point, starts to basically fill her in on the things that she had been lying to herself about.
It's just there's this how would I say? There's this relational formula that I've just started to notice in Monogatari as time has gone on, that character interactions that seem to have this very small reaching ramifications actually upon further inspection tend to have larger implications than what is originally seen on first observance.
Sure.
This one, however, is directly being called out, breaking the fourth wall as being
this is important.
This is the catalyst of the fabrication of her whole story here.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
What?
Which almost makes me less suspicious of it, weirdly enough.
How? Because that's the exact opposite. That's saying this is huge.
No, but it's going to be straightforwardly huge.
But it's not straightforward. We should know now then what it means.
Well, we don't know now what it is, but we're going to know eventually, and it's probably going to be straightforward.
But my point is that maybe we could know exactly what it is if we looked a little closer.
Or maybe it's all just a decoy.
But I feel like that's not this. The story that she created, she even says
that
it here.
was the decoy.
That was the decoy.
Yeah.
And that was not just for us, but it was specifically for Araragi.
I just gotta say again, though, I know I said this before, but I love Shinobu just being like, I just got my ass kicked, but still talking shit to the person who just kicked their ass.
Yes.
To cause them to stab her again, and then being like, okay, yeah, going back to being dead. It's like the most like in many ways petty kind of like thing that she can do, because she's an arrogant proud 500-year-old vampire, and here's this brat human that turned into some god aberration that beat her, and she can't let that happen. So if she's going to be killed, she's at least going to make sure
the comedy
she spits fire before she goes.
Right, the comedy was not absent this episode. It was great,
and it fit very well, even though it was in a very serious situation.
Yes.
Yeah,
but given that Sengoku is now a god, basically.
Yep.
In the container for a god, aka herself in this case.
Which could mean something big, or it could not, considering that the crab at the beginning was also considered a god, and Oshino kind of just stepped on it. But maybe that means something about Oshino, or
Yeah. I definitely feel like I am being presented with a story at a specific point in the kind of the end of Act 2, like you were saying. Like this is either the mid climax of Act 2, and we're going to have a little bit of relief being brought down as we move into Act 3. But
I was actually thinking that maybe this is actually the more towards the beginning of Act 2, and that's why they're setting up all these things to be empty spaces, so that in the rest of Act 2 they can get filled in.
Oh. do you consider acts to have the confrontation climax at the beginning of the act to signify it changing, or the end to signify the act ending? Because I was thinking that when she was saying, like, at the end here, graduation is the end of Act 3, is basically what she was saying, which means that this is the end of Act 2, and the time between transition is the lead up to the climax at the end of Act 3.
Well, yeah, okay. The main reason, I guess, why that made me not think that this was the end of Act 2 is because when it actually got to the Fire Sisters, they were saying that the next bit was specifically a Shinobu arc, and we haven't had a Shinobu arc specifically in name since, like, Kizu and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's been very present in arcs for other characters.
Yes.
But we haven't actually had that yet. So that's, I guess, why I'm thinking that it's still Act 2, and with the new characters that they've introduced in this act, there's just a part of me that expects that they'll get a bit more focus before it goes into Act 3. But I could totally be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go though. This is the end of Otorimonogatari. We're getting a Shinobu time arc in the next one here,
which I am all for.
Sengoku is now an overarching antagonistic force,
and the big bad, I guess.
Yeah, but it's Monogatari. There's no one really evil in this story.
Well, and also that could just be Sengoku's perspective, that she wants to be the final boss. She wants to be the
most important person
the most
in the
important
whole story.
Person. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. I have been constantly trying to figure out at what point this is going to be brought back in a hard, impactful way to Araragi's perspective, because when this story started, I was basically going heavy on the idea that there's a huge reason as to why this is entirely from Araragi's perspective, and then the show's like, psych, Hanakawa's perspective, psych,
right, and it's perspective, and it's Araragi's story when it comes right down to it, but yet it does go into all these character stories, but they're still relevant to Araragi's main story. So the question is how, and what's the struggle that Araragi's going through now, since he seems to be doing a lot better. And, yeah.
Except for the fact that he just basically nearly died.
Well, details. He didn't nearly die. He had Senjou watching out for him. He was perfectly safe.
Yeah. I feel like this episode could probably be gone into a bit more, but I'm still just overwhelmed by all the
right, because there was
the monologuing.
Yeah, there was so much detail in the monologuing that I feel like that's the kind of thing that you almost can't really do, like, on the fly, like, in the moment, because there's there are so many things all tying to everything.
Right. This is a culmination of, I would say, Act 2's finale in that regard, then.
Or certainly at the very least for Sengoku.
Yes. She is going to take a break from the story for probably a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
Maybe some things will be relevant to her stuff that she's brought up in the conflict, but yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Yep.
Sorry guys, I was kind of lost in this discussion, but
me too.
It's a whole thing here.
Yep.
I'm telling you though, there's a way that Ogi is connected to Gain and all of them, and then they're all connected back here to what's going on with Araragi, Sengoku, and Shinobu and all that. And there's another storyline, Jacob, going on in the background here that we're not privy to.
Blank spaces that can be filled in, and they a lot of it could just end up being in Act 3. Like,
I want to figure it out. But y'all, this has been a long discussion. This has been a great episode. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about these stories, about anime in general. You can get involved with the community there. There's a huge chunk of the community there that's a really big, passionate fan of Monogatari, and you'll probably have a lot of fun there. We can also talk with Jacob about his book that he wrote.
That's right. I wrote a sci-fi novel It's called Battle Lines. It's pretty great. It's available for purchase in both ebook and hardcover on Amazon. Links in the description. And they got some kind of like promotional deal for ebooks and stuff. So go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.